What's up guys, it's Ian here, back today with another video, and I just wanted to bring you a quick video about my thoughts regarding anxiety and anxiety across different time scales and time horizons. The other day, I had just worked out with one of my friends and I was doing my posing next to the window at the gym in the group X room. And it was like 5 p.m. or so, and my bro goes, you gotta hurry up, the sun's about to set. You gotta hurry up and do this posing before the sun sets and you lose the good lighting and everything. And for some reason, this really bothered me. And I kind of said something back. I was like, hey, you don't gotta be so negative. You don't gotta pressure me with this anxiety, right? Because in reality, the sun wasn't gonna be setting for 2 or 3 more hours. In reality also, we had been at the gym for a long time and it was time to go get food, so it's probably for the best that he was sort of rushing me along, since we still had to go to the grocery store, buy food, make food, eat food, and then I had to get home later that day. So it was good to have a bit of time pressure. A lot of the time pressure is a good thing. But maybe what really bothered me wasn't the amount of time that I had left to pose that day, because obviously my posing videos, they probably take 1 or 2 minutes. I just hit all the mandatory poses. I hit front double bicep, most muscular, front lat spread, side chest, side tricep, both sides, back double bicep, back lat spread. That's just the main poses that I do. And all of those maybe takes 1 minute, maybe a minute and a half if I'm doing it slowly. But yeah, so I was nowhere near running out of time to actually finish my posing. But the point of this video is more anxiety across longer time scales. What if the hurry up bro, the sun is setting, what if I subconsciously interpreted this as the sun is setting on your life, or the sun is setting on the prime of your life? This could be interpreted any number of ways, or, like the Japanese empire, the empire of the rising sun. I know obviously that's sunlight, but then if you take the dual meaning of the phonetic sun, the rising sun, like a rising child, think about it. A child, you don't know what they're going to become. They could become anything. They could take over the world. They could become super influential, charismatic. They could change the world for the better or for the worse. They could become a force for great good or great evil. As a child is rising, you never know what they'll become. So the rising sun, obviously the rising sun in terms of the solar sun, the sunlight, it provides energy and life, which is maybe more profound, but also the phonetic sun, the rising child, they could become anything. They could become anything in life, whether great good or great evil. They could really become anything. And that's really profound. And for every person will reach a peak, whether that's your peak of fitness, your peak of influence, your peak of intellect. And you never really know when that peak comes, and you won't know that you've reached your peak until the decline begins. So that's why you could view things in cycles of seasons or solar cycles, but the decline is impending. And that threat of decline, it should bring about anxiety, and it should bring about impetus for change. So this video is really meant to consider that your feelings of anxiety, they shouldn't always be viewed negatively, but maybe you need impetus for change. You could use that energy to funnel your efforts towards any number of different directions. That's not really the point, but hopefully you do greater good than evil in the world. But ultimately, when my friend was telling me that the sun was setting, maybe I subconsciously interpreted this as the sun is setting, on the prime of my life, or the sun is setting. And yeah, there's sunrise, there's the brightest part of the day, and then there's the waning of the sun as it descends, and then it sets, and then you have nighttime, right? And just because the sun isn't at its brightest, there's still good parts of the day, even the night, but the night brings darkness. And if you think about this in terms of seasonal cycles, winter represents both the beginning and the end of life. The year starts in the winter, and this could be for good reason, because babies have a high mortality rate, right? Also, elderly people, that's the end of your life. So the winter, it represents both the beginning of life and the end of life, where things are the most tenuous and the most fragile. The spring, I would say maybe the spring is anywhere from, let's say, maybe 5 or 6 years old. You've escaped infancy, the mortality rate of infancy. Maybe spring is anywhere from maybe say 5 to 25, right? You're in the spring of your life. You're gaining strength. You're gaining influence. Some people won't reach their peak fitness or influence till their mid-30s or 40s, right? Like Jesus, they killed Jesus when he was 33. But the point is that there's winter, you have to escape the winter, and then spring is a rising in influence and strength. And then the summer is still good, but the summer is how long can you sustain this peak for? It's a warm season, but it foreshadows the decline. And then the fall is the decline. You could view the fall as the sun setting from its solar maximum in that cycle, or that cyclical parallel. The sun is setting from its solar maximum, it's declining, and then you return to winter, the end of your life, or the night. So I'm sure my friend was actually just hungry and he wanted to get food, and he wasn't like trying to drive me into this profound thought, this profound pattern of thought. And my intent was not to snap at him. I don't think I snapped at him. I was just like, hey man, like you don't have to be so negative, trying to provoke anxiety in me, telling me the sun's about to set. It's like, we've got 2 or 3 hours of sunlight left. But although we did have 2 or 3 hours of sunlight left, plenty of sun for my 2-minute or less posing routine, the sun was still declining. And I guess I've gone in circles here, but hopefully some of these ideas will help you think about some of the concepts that I've brought up. And I guess I don't have too much to add to this video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if this talk made you think of anything in particular, anything profound. I've got to get to the gym before it gets too crowded. Yeah, let me know what this video made you think about. Also, let me know what you'd like to see in the next video. Maybe I can get out and make some walking content, or go for some walks and talk about some other stuff. This chair is a nice place. It's pretty quiet here. It's sunny. But yeah, just remember, anxiety, it's not always a negative thing. Sometimes it can be the impetus for change. It can be the pressure that you need, because without pressure, nothing would drive you to change or take action. Maybe you don't need to make change. Maybe you just need to take action. But ultimately, that's the same message. And thank you for watching. Have a good day.